We are now talking to Wyoming tight end and defensive line recruit, JJ Uphold. What's going on, JJ?
I'm doing good. How about you? And it's just defensive line. I'm not playing tight end at Wyoming.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take the tight end out of there. Defensive line recruit, JJ Uphold. So, JJ, how are you and your family doing right now with everything that's gone on with the pandemic? Are you guys healthy? Have any of you guys gotten it?
No, I mean, I've been pretty healthy so far. I mean, just I know my dad, he has a rotational job in Kazakhstan, so because of the whole like travel restrictions, it's been kind of hard for him to go to work but other than that, I mean, we've been doing pretty well. How about you guys?
Well, in the beginning, I was hiding under the desk because I was afraid it was going to bite me on the ass. But now I'm alive. I'm kicking. Thank God, I've never caught it. But I work at a hospital during the day, and I get a little scared because the pandemic has been really, really bad here in New York, especially here on Long Island, and it's getting worse. And now with the vaccine, and they're giving the vaccine, I don't know if I want to try the vaccine yet until maybe a year from now, because I don't know what is in the vaccine. I don't know if it can cause cancer or future problems moving forward. So I took a step back and I said I didn't want the vaccine. Maybe it was the wrong choice. We will see. So tell us a little bit about the recruiting process. Now, I've asked a lot of recruits, what is it like being interviewed on Zoom? You're not getting the opportunity to check out the school. Hand in hand, talking to the coaches face to face. What is it like being recruited on Zoom?
I mean, it's a lot different. I mean, I much rather like being able to talk to people like in person, like when they're right in front of me. But I mean, it's still a way for me to communicate to people. It's still nerve-wracking, probably a little less nerve-wracking. I don't know. I mean, there's just those like little social cues that you kind of get when you're in person, which you don't really get anymore just because everything's on Zoom and all that. But I know my school, we're on campus now, so I'm pretty happy about that. So I actually get to socialize like with other people instead of just being on Zoom all day.
So I was reading an article about you, and you actually had a quote which is very interesting. You said, "I can't wait to play in the snow." You're in Bakersfield, California right now going to Wyoming, which we've seen some snow college football games this year. So what is it about the cold weather for football players like you that you really get excited to play more, especially as a defensive tackle?
Well, I grew up in many different places. One of the places I grew up in was in Calgary, in Canada, and so I remember the winter days going outside and playing in the snow, but I never really got to play any sports in the snow. I mean, I played baseball and it started to snow a little bit, but that was pretty much it. But I just remember going out with my friends, tobogganing down the hill and all that. So just to be able to look forward to that in Wyoming it's not the main thing I'm looking forward to. There's a lot of other things I love about the place, but that is a pretty big selling point.
We are talking to Wyoming and defensive line recruit JJ Uphold. Now, JJ, first of all, what's your real name? What's your first name? What's your middle name?
Oh, my first name is Jesus Jr. No, I'm kidding. It's Joshua Joseph.
What is that laugh? You sound like a duck or something like that. Did you hear that? It was like I was worse than a crow, JJ. Ooh, what the hell is?
I kind of heard it. I mean, it kind of broke up a little bit. It was that bad.
It was terrible. Thank God you didn't hear it. I want to smack him on the side of the head. But what is your real name?
Oh, Joshua Joseph.
My middle name is
Joseph Uphold. My last name.
Well, my middle name is Joseph too. So
I didn't hear it, sorry.
My middle name is Joseph too.
Nice.
We have something in common. My name is Errol Joseph. My friends used to call me EJ. So there you go. Not JJ, EJ. So we've got something in common. So what is it like, with everything that's gone on this past year with the COVID-19? Did you have a high school season?
I mean, it's not set yet. I mean, we haven't had it in the actual season where we're supposed to have it, but they said it's still postponed, which I don't know what that means, but I know that right now we've been it's basically all the Garces kids, the school I go to, and a couple other kids in Bakersfield. we had this club team where we go to Arizona and we play actual full-on football games there. So it's at least we have that to do, which it's a lot of fun going out there. It's basically a high school season. It's just you have to drive like 4.5 hours to get over there.
No, screw that. I'm not doing that. Oh man.
So I mean, my friend somehow can get there in like 3 hours flat.
well, over there where you are from, I mean, there's no cops, or probably open roads, different ponds that you can jump into a boat or whatever the heck you want to do to get where you want to go.
It's just straight desert. It's the high desert.
There you go. A desert
and national parks, plenty of them. So sticking with high school football, you being in California now, what was some of those experiences like? Obviously you're in a pretty big area, not super big like comparison to the cities, but a state that's really more baseball and basketball you think of. What was the football experience like with all that, both on and off the field?
I mean, here in Bakersfield, our football league, I think is pretty tough. We're in one of the more tougher, I guess, leagues in the city. There's different, like, we're in the Southwest Yosemite League, and then there's other like South Yosemite leagues. But I mean, just being able to play against other kids in my area, I mean, and knowing that, like, how do I explain this? Just the competition level is a little. I like to think of it as it's kind of, I mean, I don't really know how to say it. Just I still think that the competition level is pretty high here, and it's a little comparable to the ones in LA, but yeah, it's competitive.
We are talking to Wyoming and defensive line recruit JJ Uphold. So tell us why Wyoming. Out of all the schools that were recruiting you, what made you decide that you want to be a Wyoming player?
Well, ever since that was actually the first school that was interested in me. I remember my Coach Gola, he called me as soon as I put up my highlight video. He called me saying that Wyoming's interested. So it just kind of like set my head that was the first school that kind of like, I guess, contacted my coach about me about. So there's that. And then I just loved how Coach Caligus there, he contacted me pretty much on like a weekly basis. And it wasn't just about football, it was to get to know me like personally and all that. And even after they offered me, they still continued to stay in touch with me. So I just felt more connected to them on a personal level, I guess, I to say.
So you play a lot of different defensive line positions, from what I read about you. What are some of the biggest differences between each of them, and also which ones are your favorite to play if you had a preference?
I mean, defensive ends, it's more like, I mean, depending on the play call, I kind of feel I have more of a free range to do stuff. But I mean, they're both pretty much the same, like defensive ends and the tackles. I know Wyoming, I'll be playing defensive tackle. But honestly, I don't really, I guess, have a preference. Just pretty much wherever the team needs me to be, I'm more than happy to be there. I'm one of those kind of players. So as long as I'm getting my job done.
JJ, if I put Speedy Petey in front of you, my producer over here, what do you think you could do to him on an open field? What could you do to this kid right over here? I mean, look at him. I mean, he's so easy to look at and so easy that you want to hit him. So what would you do? If I put you in the middle of a football field right now and I told you to run him over, what do you think you could do to somebody like him?
I just do what you said. I just run him over. Lower shoulder down.
Well, he would be easy to do it to. That's for sure. So, as everybody knows, we are talking to Wyoming and defensive line recruit JJ Uphold. Now, JJ, playing the defensive line position is become a very important position in college football and the NFL. We talk about the pass rush. I was just talking about what makes a good NFL Super Bowl competitive team: a good pass rush and a good running game. What kind of player are you? Are you a guy that goes after the quarterback? Are you good on stopping the run? What is your strength, and what would you say is your weakness and what you need to work on?
I'd probably say one of my strengths is being able to read if it's a run or a pass, just if they're down blocking one way or not, being able not to be able to not to run upfield, which I had struggled with in the past, but a lot of practice made me not run up the field anymore. But just being able to contain my gap and stay there and wait for the running back to come over. Um, what am I? I mean, I wouldn't say it's a weakness. Like I don't mean to be cocky, but I do find getting around the tackle is kind of easy. But one of the weaknesses is then trying to be able to track the quarterback because then he always rolls out or does something.
Are you,
But
what is
I don't know, I
what is
can work on that.
is it your hands? Is it your footwork? What makes it so easy to get around the tackle?
A combination of both, but mostly footwork, honestly.
The most important
Just
thing to a pass rusher. The most important thing to
sorry.
it's the most important thing to a pass rusher. I think people forget it's really it's good footwork and really know how to work the hands. That Aaron Donald is
Yes.
a pro in the NFL. I mean, you can't stop the guy because of his footwork and his hands, unbelievable hands.
Yes.
So I think those are the two most important things when it comes to a pass rusher.
Yeah. What was it? That one video of him, he was training with like the knives or whatever. I was like, whoa. I know he has phenomenal handwork.
Unbelievable. Best handwork I've ever seen since maybe Lawrence Taylor. That's how good he is.
I would say the fastest defensive tackle I've ever seen. So he's just incredible. So, two-part question: one, who is your NFL team? And two, who is one player that influenced you a lot growing up watching and playing football?
I mean, since I lived overseas, I never really I never really had an NFL team. I mean, if anything, I just say we're like where I was born, the Bears. But I mean, they're doing all right. I didn't see if they won or lost yesterday. Did they win or lose?
They lost against the Saints, 24-9.
They lost, so they're done.
21, I think.
Yeah, but yeah. So I don't know. Maybe in the future, maybe I'll start watching them a bit more if they get better.
Listen, if he goes to the NFL, he'll become a team of the NFL team that he plays for. How's that sound?
For sure, yeah. That would be my thing.
So this is what we do.
Yeah, and then the second part. Or
go ahead.
I was gonna say the second part of the question, the favorite player. Yeah, the favorite player, I'd probably say who would be? I'd probably say like Rob Gronkowski because he played basketball as well, and I know that I remember reading how he didn't have necessarily anger issues. He just got like frustrated on the court and everything. Which when I was in middle school, I struggled with being frustrated a lot. So I don't know. I just feel like that was the same thing, me and him. But I kind of figured out how to tone that down, so I don't get as angry, frustrated anymore. Like to the point where I just lose my head.
Jimmy Graham played basketball, and he plays for your Chicago Bears. You're not a Jimmy Graham fan?
Jimmy Graham? No. Wait, what?
Jimmy Graham. He plays for your Chicago Bears. He's a tight end just like Rob Gronkowski, and he played basketball too. He played college basketball.
Huh. Well, I mean, I don't really follow NFL that much. I just kind of
I gotcha.
I usually watch a Super Bowl game here and there, yeah, or I'll watch highlights of certain players.